Good morning and welcome to another episode of Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan. We started on August the 18th, celebrating, honoring, recognizing, giving homage to the women who had been, I guess I would say, an instrumental part, but not just the women, to the Congress who ratified our right to vote. It is the centennial, the 100-year of celebration, and I'm not going to forget that. And today is an amazing day. But remember, I always say that if you change the way that you think, you will alter the entire course of your life. I have someone very dear to me. She's not just a sister in the Lord. She's not just another lady, mighty woman of God. She is my Sora, Jaye Little. She's also the CEO and founder of A Hope to Help. And not only are we celebrating the centennial of the women's right to vote, Jay, we celebrating the centennial of what? The greatest sorority ever. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We just had to put that in there. Yes. So thank you for coming on my show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's indeed an honor. And she's more than just a CEO and founder. She's also a recording artist, but we're going to get to that just a little bit later. We're going to talk to Jaye Little, the woman of God, the Sora, the sister, and we're going to just have some sister talk. Is that okay?
Let's talk.
Okay. So first, tell the people where you're originally from.
Okay, I am from Hampton, Virginia. I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and now I reside in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, so you're from Hampton. Is that Hampton Roads area, or is that two different parts?
I believe those are two different parts.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Maybe.
I got some friends. I got some friends in Virginia. Maybe they'll let us know whether it's different. So, listen, I met you through. I'm thinking it was through a church church affiliation. We were at a conference or something. I think that's how we encountered. But either way, everybody says we look alike. So hey, this is our moment. But there's something about your journey. We've exercised, we've talked, we've chopped it up. Sora to Sora, sister in Christ. I tell her we got two DNAs. We got the blood of Jesus and we got the blue and the white.
Yes.
So there was something you said to me. When I say it has resonated as a woman, it has resonated as a mother, it has resonated as an individual who looks at the lives of people. And Dr. Cindy Trim said something one time that I thought was so amazing. She said that oftentimes we celebrate a person's recovery, but we never celebrate, and I'm paraphrasing, but we never celebrate the fact that God sustained them and they didn't have to go be a drug addict.
Wow.
And so she was making a correlation to the fact that she was a virgin. And she said oftentimes we celebrate people when they redo something or do something again, but we oftentimes don't celebrate the person who never did it. So that's sort of kind of way to jump in there, but it's a real topic.
Yes.
That I feel like that and I say this is we because I have been guilty of it, and I'm not too many years, too many days, too many months removed from being guilty.
Yeah.
So I'm the one that's going to keep it all the way 100. It's something with the women who we feel like that sex is validation.
Yes.
That's our security blanket. And I couldn't imagine, and that's why you got to tell the story for me. I couldn't imagine being in my 20s and not falling prey to that, because I spent so much of my life feeling like I had to measure up, and that was an area of measuring, if you will. So how did you do it? Just
okay. Well, I can honestly say that at first I was afraid to even talk about it because everyone around me had done it so much, and it became an embarrassment to be a virgin. That I just kind of like I always tried to hide it or just never brought it up. Or if my friends would talk about having sex, I'm just like, okay. However, what I can honestly say is God has kept me. Sometimes I still wonder how.
wow.
I remember literally maybe 6 years ago, I was in the moment, having a moment with this young man, and I told him, I said, you know what, I'm ready to have sex. Literally, we were just there, and I told him that I was ready. And he had just recently had a child. He said the words. He said, you know what, no, I'm not going to do it because I know you want to wait until you're married.
Wow.
At that moment, I knew that God was saving something so much greater for me. Because at the moment that I still said yes, or I still wanted to step over that barrier, or I still wanted to cross that line and lose my virginity, God said, he still said no. And so
Wow.
at that moment, I said, okay, well, maybe I should just not, I shouldn't even take different inches to get closer. Just even kissing, like now it's just like, okay, God is protecting you literally, and he just showed you even when you wanted to pass that moment that I'm God is saying I'm still keeping you.
Wow.
So stop playing with me. That's literally what it has been. And so since that moment, I've practiced just kind of being more serious about me, serious about how I allow men to interact with me, whether it's physical or just even with a hug or a touch. It's been that God has been keeping me. That's all that I can say. And even being 25 now, it's still like, wow, Lord, you really have me holding on. He's made plenty ways of escape. And
That's scripture.
it's just saying, hey, you can do this. And so here I am now, 25. It becomes, when you practice things more, it becomes a habit. And so
Right.
me just being willing to say, okay, no, when I know that when it's happening that way, okay, we're not doing that. Okay, hi, how are you? We're meeting for the first time. You have sex. I don't. Let's just agree to disagree and just move our separate ways if that's what you want to do. So.
Oh, that's big. That's grown. So I just want to take this didactic moment to say to people that we have to remember that nothing that happens in life is by coincidence. Your life is precious, your journey is precious, and your pureness is precious. To any woman, any girl, any mother with a daughter, let her see this moment and let her see that you can prevent yourself from having some of the painful encounters. And just a reminder that sex is not the answer. It's preserved and it's set aside for moments that's going to make us feel whole with the person. And not even make us feel whole, because you should always already come to the table whole, but make us feel fulfilled in the person that we encounter.
Yes.
So before we're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back. But I just want to tell you, mothers, if you have a daughter, let her tune in so she can get some wisdom on how to make the next part of this journey work.
It's okay to wait.
We'll be right back with Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan. Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan.
Welcome back to Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan. Thank you so much for tuning back in with us. We're having this very important, very intentional conversation with my Soror, Jaye Little. And I want to make sure that we bring back to the mothers and the daughters. If you brought your mothers in, if you brought your daughters in, mothers, and aunties, if you brought your nieces in, just the importance of pureness. I think we've gone so far away from it as a society. It's almost as if we don't have anything that's pure. We don't have pure fruit, because seedless fruit isn't real fruit. Like, when you start learning all these things in life,
Yes.
You're like, the purity of everything is gone. What would you say to a young lady? Because usually those insecurities that lead us to believing we need to have sex comes from that place. What would you say? I get that you said the Lord did it for you.
Yeah.
But what would you say to a young lady who's in the heat of the moment? Because you said you've been in the heat of the moment.
Yes, a humanized answer.
Yes, a humanized answer.
Yes. What I would tell young people, as well, I tell my girls right now, having sex with that young man is marrying him. Every man that I've been with, or that I've given my time to, or just the kids, they're not here today.
Wow.
And so there's so much. There are so many other barriers that come with having sex. Not only are you marrying them, but there's an emotional tie that comes with that. Soul ties can come with sex, and truthfully, they can't get into your head until you have sex with them. So that's what I tell my girls. It's just, hey, your mind is going to be in a total different realm once you have sex with him and once you give him your body. So let me help you before sex is for marriage.
Yes.
And it's for one person. So that's what I tell my girls.
And as guilty as I have been of not, abstaining, I realize, because I teach it and I educate people on it. You're so right. The soulish bond doesn't really take effect until after you've become intimate. And I tell people that the life is in the blood. If you go back and actually search the scripture in the Old Testament, it actually symbolized the marriage when there was a covenant broken through the breaking of blood, through the blood sacrifice, through a woman who's a virgin. That was symbolic of a covenant that's joined with that man or with that person. So when you think about the blood that breaks whenever when you cross the barrier, you make a blood covenant. Once you made the blood covenant, you married that person. And a lot of times I don't think we look at it as that intense because we look at the moment. So I'm just going to say to you, I'm not the person, because you can't uncrack an egg, but I do believe that if you can avoid the encounter that forces you into the place of having to uncrack an egg, of having to go back and have those hard conversations, deal with the guy that don't want you. Yep.
And I come from my mom had me out of wedlock, and so that's something that my mom, she wanted to make sure that I knew, that like, hey, just wait until you get married. I sing, and so I used to think that I would lose my singing voice if I had sex. So it was like, okay, I don't want, like, I really got nervous about that type of thing. But it's also breaking a cycle as well, saying, hey, although I came from a single parent home, it's okay to wait until you're married to have sex, so that you can be able to start a new, I guess, a different insight.
Right.
Because it's for marriage, it doesn't mean that I have to create the same moment that maybe my mom did. And so even though she taught me, say, hey, look, I made the mistake, but that doesn't mean that you have to make the same mistake. So I'm just thankful that my mom was, she was on me about it, but she also, if you do mess up, hey, however, let's do this.
Right. So sort of kind of an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, somebody said. So as we're wrapping this up, before we go into our next break, I just want to say to you that there's real pressure in getting close.
Yes.
And sometimes we just got to be intentional on setting boundaries. I'm telling you,
Standards.
If you're hugging, smooching, you're going to want to go to level 2.
The flesh always wants more.
Yes, you're going to want to go to level 2. My mom used to tell me, my mom said, having sex is just like eating a Lay's potato chips. I'm falling over.
And they're good.
Yeah, she's like, the commercial says no one can eat just one. So I'm going to say to you, when you want to think about it, when you feel like that's a decision you want to make, just know that if that person's not a virgin, that means that you're not their first. And if you're not their first, you may not be their last.
Come on. Yeah.
So I just want to say to you, if you want to be the last person that person encounters, find someone with the light mind that values the art of being in place for God, and just prepare yourself and be aware that no matter what you have going on, if you change the way that you think, you will alter the entire course of your life. We're about to take a break and come back, and we're going to talk about Jaye Little, the recording artist. Keep it locked in right here at Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan.
We'll be right back with Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan. Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan.
Welcome back to Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan, and my guest, and Sarah Jaye Little. So now we're going to transition and talk a little bit about you being the CEO and founder of A Hope to Help. So maybe you could tell us about your mission and your purpose.
Okay. A Hope to Help is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to advise, encourage, and support youth who may be hopeless during transitions in life. And our slogan is, by many or by few, whatever our passion is, we will come through. And so right now, This is simply an organization to reach out to youth aged 16 years old to 25 years old, where we make sure that we are able to push them in any kind of way to magnify their purpose in life, to make sure that they are pushing, making sure that they are in school. Right now, we offer tutoring, we offer motivational messages. We have something called Motivation Mondays, and during those Mondays, we're talking about different topics that they're dealing with. These are high school and college students, and so we're talking about relationships. We're talking about education, how you can have better study habits, and we're just making sure that we critique those areas, because this is a generation where they're not really being reached to as much as they could be, and so we're trying to make sure that we give them the extra and right now we're also offering tutoring sessions as well. So it's a bit much of kind of everything. It's just a hope to help you in any kind of way of where you need that extra assistance.
So when you talked about tutoring, what ages do you tutor, or do you tutor all ages?
I tutor all ages. Right now I'm tutoring a sixth grader, and we are building her mathematical foundations, where she's going to make sure that she knows addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, so that when she is introduced to the algebra 1, she'll know, hey, I remember that I can build this up to the next level. So it's been pretty fun.
So did you go to school with the intent of doing math as a journey, or did you just end up, or did you land there?
It was my intention since I was in elementary school. I found a project maybe when I was in maybe fifth grade, and we made timelines, and it said, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I literally had on the timeline a third grade teacher. So teacher was already there. I've loved math since I was born, so I've always wanted to be a math teacher.
Wow. So I Hope to Help, that is the nonprofit that you started with the intent of helping. So how can they find where Hope to Help is located?
Okay, we are located on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it's literally called A Hope to Help on every social media platform.
And are they booking you there, or is so? Will your Motivation Mondays be on that site? Where would Motivation Monday be located?
Motivation Mondays will be on the Facebook page and on YouTube.
Okay, on your
So,
Facebook page,
on
or
the Oh Hope to Help, on that actual page.
okay, so
Everything will be on that page.
okay, so you have to follow the page,
You
right?
have to follow the page. A Hope to Help on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also on YouTube.
Well, click, follow, and share. Is that what they
Like,
say? Or
like,
follow, and
subscribe,
share.
all of the above.
Yeah, all
Yes.
that. Yeah, and then they say subscribe. The link's down below.
Click on the link.
In case you don't know what a Hope to Help is, the wording and everything is down below, because we really want you to make sure you take part in supporting and following this organization. Most importantly, because if you need hope, you need someone who can hope you. Also,
Yes.
mothers, fathers, families, your children need someone I feel like that's a little closer to their journey. Sometimes the parent is a little far removed from the journey, and because you're remembering what you did when you were 20, or 16, you think your child is doing everything that you did, and sometimes that frightens us to think that our
Yes.
kid could be living out what we were living and our parents didn't know. And sometimes our children are the exact opposite. They actually have focus, they're grounded, they just don't talk to their parents because why? My daughter told me she's uncomfortable. Like there's just certain subjects that she just is uncomfortable talking about. But as she's gotten older, she realized that it
It's
was
necessary.
easier talking to my mama than my girlfriends, because now I'm hearing what I said to my girlfriends out in the street. So, do you have gender preference, or is it either gender?
This is either gender.
Either gender. So 16 to 25.
Yes.
And you just turned 25,
I
right?
did 4 days ago.
Pause. You just turned 25 on July 27th. So not too far removed, almost about a month ago, a little more than a month ago, you turned 25, but your passion was still in helping people who were in the same age bracket. And so what would you say to a parent who's with that child, before we take this break? What would you say to a parent who's with that child between 16 and 25? What would you say to that parent who just doesn't feel like they can reach them? Because that's real life for some parents too.
To the parents, if you are a little nervous about communicating with your child or with your child communicating with you, it's very important to have two different perspectives, your own perspective and maybe someone who cannot be as biased as you would, to hear from them as well. So I don't mind, giving advice to your child, but just understand that this will be coming from a person who has actually dealt with the situations, and they have received wisdom and they gained wisdom within experiencing those moments. So we're open to anything.
So we invite you parents to take that moment with your child just to remind them of how important they are. And sometimes before you kick them out, before you become totally frustrated with them, give them hope. Give them an opportunity to speak with another party, someone else that can remind them of their purpose. Because believe it or not, sometimes our kids don't think that we believe in them. And sometimes they feel like other people care more. Sometimes we just are at our wits' end and we don't know what to do. So I'm encouraging you, before you give up hope, remember that there is a hope to help. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back.
We'll be right back with Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan. Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan.
Welcome back to Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan, and my Sora, Jaye Little. Not only my Sora, the CEO and founder of A Hope to Help. Not just that, recording artist. Yes, yes, yes. You recently released you debuted your single.
Yes.
What is it called? Move who?
Move me.
Say it again, move who?
Move me.
Why did you figure that God needed to move me?
Because sometimes we think that what's going on in our life happens because of somebody else or because of other things, but sometimes it could actually just be you. You're stopping yourself from being great. You're stopping yourself from moving forward. You are stopping yourself from getting to your next level. So, God, okay, it's me this time. Help me overcome whatever it is that I'm in the way of.
Because I tell people this is one of my big things. If there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. And I tell people all the time that whenever you think about the enemy, it's always the inner me.
Yes.
The inner me is the issue. It's not you. A lot of, and we think as people, humans, Christians, women, we think my past, your past was a door. Your past may have been a gate. But once the door and the gate is entered into, you have a responsibility. And I feel like that song makes people take accountability for their spiritual journey. It's not because you had a divorce. It's not because you can't find the right mate. It's not because your baby daddy is pathetic or your baby mama is loose. It's not because of those things. It's not because your mother wasn't present. It's not because your father wasn't there. That may have been the premise, but that's not the purpose. And if you don't choose to get over yourself and make a decision and be accountable, you're going to always be in your own way. Oh my goodness. Where is that song at so that people can locate it and find it?
Move Me is located on all digital platforms. You can find it anywhere and everywhere.
So when she says digital, for everybody who's not into technology, I'm almost certain that it's on iTunes,
Amazon,
it's on Amazon, Spotify,
Google Play,
it's on Google Play.
It's even on
not to
YouTube.
mention it's on YouTube. Oh, you got it on YouTube as well. It's on YouTube. Some other places. Check also if you all have Pandora. Check and see if it's on Pandora. Yes. Check every place that music is played. That's what we mean when we say all digital outlets. And it's less than $1 for you to download the song. We have absolutely no excuse. But also remember, even if you don't personally go purchase it, you can always go to YouTube and listen to it and subscribe and follow and like. But most importantly, how did it feel to debut your first musical project?
I am still in awe that it's actually happening. Literally. It was a moment where I was praying, and in that prayer came those words. And my mom pushed me. She said, "Hey, we have to get this out. Wow. Hey, I don't care what you do, but this song has to get out." And so we decided to put our focal point on that getting the producer, getting the mixer and mix master engineer, and it was released in June.
Wow.
And so I'm getting so much feedback on how much someone told me, "Oh, I've been praying this the whole time, and it's like you just turned it into a song. You were able to sing what I've been praying for the longest on. Just God help me, move me out of my own way." And so I'm more honored that it's blessing everybody else the same way that the prayer has been blessing me, and it's still a daily prayer every day, because we sometimes we can be our own worst critic,
Right.
and it's like, okay, God, okay, I'm still in the way of a few things. There are other areas that I still may need a little bit more discipline in. God, just help me, because I can't do this without you anyway. So it's been an amazing journey, and I'm just excited for where this song is going.
Wow. And just so that we know, do you have a page for your artistry page?
Yes.
As a recording artist?
Yes.
Okay, what's that page and where can they locate it?
That page's name is called Jaye Little, and so it's also on Facebook. It's also no, it's just Jaye Little. It's just on Facebook.
Okay.
You can find me on Instagram as well, but it's still Jaye Little, and so.
So have you been singing forever, or you just woke up one day and wanted to sing?
I have been singing for forever. I've been singing since I was 2. I just became a choir director within the past maybe 5 years.
Wow.
And I've been singing with a few different groups, and so it's becoming more of my norm now within the past 3 years, and it has been amazing.
Wow. So you've been singing since you were 2. Who in your family sings? Is that like a gift in the family, or is it just something that you tapped into and it was there?
Well, we all play instruments.
Interesting.
I know, but my aunt, she is the recording artist.
Really? So what's her name?
Her name is Andrea Little Mason, and she lives in Chicago, Illinois.
So she's the recorded artist,
Yes.
Andrea Little Mason.
Mason, yes.
Wow. So everybody go check her out as well. Guess what? Because we always want to keep it
Absolutely
in the family. It has been amazing for just to have this conversation with you. And you're so young, but yet you're still purposeful. You're still right where the Lord will want you. So if you could just take 10 seconds of your time and just tell somebody what you would say to get to that next part of their dream or their goal. Just 10 seconds of your time to share with them.
Okay. In order to let God do what he needs to do in your life, you need to release everything that's in your hands. How can you receive what God has for you if you're still holding on to things that are not even a part of your destiny? So whatever it is that you overthink about, whatever it is that you ponder the most over, release it to God and let him work on it.
And that was the best advice that she could give and the best advice that one could receive. Remember this, if you remember nothing else. Change the way that you think,
Yes.
and you will alter the entire course of your life. Until next time, this is your life coach, Sybil Sloan.